Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text number 4. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya Dhasham Brahma Mahadyoni Aham Bija Pradapita. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. Purport. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature. Such living entities are seen not only on this planet, but on every planet, even on the highest, where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within the water and within the fire. All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my darkened eyes and filled my heart with spiritual knowledge. I offer my obeisances unto his lotus feet. I further offer my obeisances unto all of you assembled Vaishnavas and seek your kind blessings and permission that we may recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita together. So the translation goes like this. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. So on this special American observance called Father's Day, as today, I thought it would be a good idea to explore the concept of fatherhood, starting with the supreme fatherhood of Krishna, the original Father. In this verse, we see that Krishna is the father of not just humans, but of all species, every species of life. Krishna is the father. There is another nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 9. It says, Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksama yajurevacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, Sama, and the Yajurvedas. So here, he's talking about how he's the cosmic father. In the other verse, he's talking about how he's the father of all the species of life. Here is the father of the universe. Pitaham asya jagato. Now, if we could trace back, say, from our father's father, grandfather, great-great-grandfather, and go back all the way to the very beginning of our lineage, we'll come to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma, who is the original living entity in this, the first created being in this universe, we learned that his father is Krishna. And who is Krishna's father? It says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body, Satchidananda Vigraha. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He's Anadi. And he's the prime cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the cause of all causes. So who is Krishna's father? Nobody. Actually, no. Although he does not have an origin, Anadir Adir Govinda, he is also paradoxically the loving son of his father Nanda Maharaj. How is that possible? Because Krishna is Purna Purushottam. He is the complete Lord. You can see here. What do you mean by complete Lord? Means that he revels in all of the flavors of loving exchange. He is the father of all the species of life. He is the father of the entire universe. And even in his Leela in Dwarka, the city of Dwarka, he plays the role of the father of so many children. He had 16,108 wives. And with each of the wives, he had 10 sons. That's a lot. Right? How many children is that? Right? A lot of tax deductions. So many. But he does not want to be left or be bereft of the love that comes from being on the other side of that relationship, of that father-son relationship. He doesn't want to be left out because it's a sweet relationship. And so he also plays the role and he becomes the supreme sweet son, the son of Maharaj Nanda. This relationship of Krishna with Maharaj Nanda identifies that Krishna whom we worship. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanaya. We worship who? The son of Vrajesh. Vrajesh means the king of Vraja, who is Nanda Maharaj. We worship his son. We worship Krishna in that place. See, Vrajesh Tanaya. So he becomes the supreme sweet son. Now here we see he's lovingly carrying the shoes of his father, of Nanda Maharaj, on his head. And sometimes he rides on his father's shoulders and asks so many questions. And Nanda Maharaj patiently answers them. That's Krishna, the Supreme Father, and also the Supreme Son. It's quite mind-blowing. There's this Krishna book written by Srila Prabhupada. Has anybody read the Krishna book? Anybody remember the dedication page? You know how Prabhupada dedicates the book to someone or the other? To whom did Srila Prabhupada dedicate the Krishna book? Does anybody know? Yes, correct. He dedicated his book to his father. Srila Prabhupada's own father. He says, to my father Gaur Mohan De, a pure devotee of Krishna, who raised me as a Krishna conscious child from the beginning of my life. In my boyhood ages, he instructed me how to play mridanga. He gave me Radha Krishna Vigraha to worship, and he gave me Jagannath Rath to duly observe the festival as my childhood play. He was kind to me. I imbibed from him the ideas later on solidified by my spiritual master, the Eternal Father. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. You can see how much he loved his father. This is one of the top-selling books. You know, Krishna book is everybody wants a Krishna book. So many copies have been sold in every language. And he dedicated this book to his father, Gaur Mohan De. It's very sweet. But you notice how much he glorifies his father in the context of his Krishna conscious contribution. He taught me to play mridanga. He brought me my Radha Krishna deities. He helped me. He brought the Rath for me so I could do my first Rath Yatra as a child. And then what he taught me became solidified by my eternal Father, my spiritual master. When we become parents, our whole life changes. I recall when my son was born, there was an overwhelming sense of joy and hope. And along with it also comes a sense of maturing responsibility. How many here are fathers or parents? How many have a father, either manifest or unmanifest? All of us. There shouldn't be anybody not putting their hand up. Everybody has a father. There's no doubt that, of course, we all have fathers, but when we have our children, there's no doubt that we all want the very best for our child, isn't it? And what is the ultimate best gift to give the child? The ultimate best thing to give our child is eternal life. A life free from the cycle of birth and death. What more valuable than that? A life filled with Krishna consciousness, freedom from misery, and saturation with love of Godhead. The Srimad Bhagavatam reminds us of our responsibility as parents to give this ultimate gift to our children. In fact, it makes it quite a heavy statement that we don't even have a right to become a father or mother or a guru or a leader if we cannot deliver our dependents from the cycle of death. It's a very famous verse. Guru nasasyat svajano nasasyat pita nasasyat janani nasasyat daivam natasya napateshcha sasyan namo chayedya samupeta mrityam. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. In a sense, this verse can add to our already overwhelmed sense of responsibility that goes beyond just providing for our family. Adds more tension. What, we have to do this also? Now we also have to make sure, in addition to getting them educated and get their food and shelter, we also make sure that they get freedom from this cycle of birth and death and become fully Krishna conscious. And then all our complexities of life in the modern world, it can get a bit much. And sometimes, if we feel it is too much, we might even gravitate toward some of the statements in the scripture that emphasize detachment from family. That seems a little easier. Just give up and not care about the family. And we might even want to do that in the name of Scripture. For example, in the 13th chapter of the Gita, we have this section. It says, Asaktir anabhisvanga putradara grahadishu. Krishna says, he lists a whole bunch of items that are items of knowledge. And he says, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amidst pleasant, unpleasant events. All these I declare to be knowledge. Everything else is ignorance. So here, clearly, Krishna says that detachment from family entanglement is an item of knowledge. And some of us may even come to the false conclusion that this means that we should now become negligent in our duties to our family, or that we should withdraw our affection and love toward our children and a wife and husband and so on, only focus on love for Krishna. Does that sound very healthy and natural? Of course not. And yet here he's saying it in the Gita. How do we understand this? How are we supposed to process this? How are we supposed to apply this in our lives? Let us turn to Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, and see what he writes in the purport to this verse. Okay, so please pay attention. This is the purport to this verse in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada writes, as for detachment from children, wife, and home, it is not meant that one should have no feeling for these. They are natural objects of affection. Prabhupada writes this. Don't be unnatural. Let the affection for our children be there. So here Prabhupada explains how to apply this understanding, and in that way also avoid misapplying that verse. And in the same purport, he goes on to give the formula for a happy family life. He says, and if you want the secret to a happy family life, it's hiding in this purport. Read it. He gives a list of 4 things to do. Memorize these 4 things to do. Guaranteed you'll be happy in your life. It's chapter 13, verse number 8 through 12. You'll find this purport hiding there. If you open the book, you'll find this glowing, this purport, okay? Listen carefully. The best process for making the home pleasant is Krishna consciousness. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy, because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. One need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's point number 1. Accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. That's point number 2. Have some discussion on books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, like we're doing right now. That's point number 3. And engage oneself in deity worship. Point number 4. Not difficult. These 4 items will make one happy. One should train the members of his family in this way. The family members can sit down morning and evening and chant together what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If one can mold his family life in this way, to develop Krishna consciousness following these 4 principles, there is no need to change from family life to renounced life. Make note of these 4 things. In case you didn't know the Mahamantra, Prabhupada written it twice in this same paragraph. Just to remind you, it's very important. He's written the full mantra twice in the same paragraph of this purport. So we should not misunderstand the statements about renouncing or detaching from family entanglements. Then what do we need to renounce? We need to give up our sense of false proprietorship. These people, they are for my selfish enjoyment. No, they're not. We should recognize that these family members, they're under my care, but in actuality, they are being cared for and maintained by Krishna only. I am just an instrument in his service. I may be a father, maybe a mother, but it's Krishna who's taking care of me and them. And as such, I should do my very best as my devotional service to support and maintain my family in the service of Krishna. I should apply my full intelligence, full energy, my full effort, full focus, and then leave the rest to Krishna. There's a famous verse in the 2nd chapter. You might know this in Karmanyavadikaraste, right? Anyone know that verse? Karmanyavadikaraste, ma phale shukadachana, ma karma phale hetubhur, mahate samgosta karmani. Very famous verse. Also one of the most misunderstood verses in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, you have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. And never be attached to not doing your duty. Okay, so that's a little confusing. Why am I doing so much work if I'm not going to go for the fruit? Especially this hard work of raising children. We don't typically get paid to raise our own children, but we want to get something out of it. When we do this work of raising our children, they're not for us to enjoy selfishly. They are Krishna's souls. They're Vaikuntha children. What this verse is telling us, actually. The reward for the work that we do is not what we get from it, but what we become out of it. That's the reward. Any work, actually. The work that we do transforms us. It changes us at some level. That is the reward. That's what this verse means. Don't go for the fruit. That's not even yours. But the transformative effect of work, if you do it for Krishna, will transform you into a devotee. So this parenting seva, it's also seva. It is also bhakti. If you want to give Krishna consciousness to our children, we make a full attempt. This service of being a father and a mother and a parent, even an older brother or sister, this seva molds us. It builds our character. It increases our appreciation and love for Krishna. Because Krishna, he gives us love. And when we share that love, we realize how much Krishna loves us. And the challenges Krishna faces in taking care of us. So what kind of challenge Krishna will face? How can Krishna have any challenges? He's the Supreme Lord. But do you think Krishna is happy that we turn away from him? He's not happy. But he reluctantly lets us do it. He reluctantly gives us the intelligence to build these atheistic ideas, sometimes very sophisticated ideas. He's not happy. But as his children, we can work to make him happy and become devotees ourselves, help our own children, our own dependents become devotees of Krishna. When we realize that it is really Krishna alone who is maintaining everyone, including me, including every one of our family members, then what happens? A lot of our inner stress goes away. You know, all that burden, it actually dissolves. It takes off some of the edge because it is Krishna's responsibility now. It has always been his responsibility, but we realize it now. We still apply our full energy and God-given intelligence to maintain the family, but we do it with a sense of dependence on the Lord. This is called surrender. We depend on the Lord for our maintenance and for our family's maintenance. And this dependence gives us a sense of deep peace. And with that peace, we can happily execute our duties and our services in Krishna consciousness. In our scriptures, the parenting model given is very simple, very powerful. This is the ideal way to raise children. It says from the age of 0 to 5 years, you give full affection to the child. Care, love, affection, freedom, even spoiling them a bit. Very little chastisement, very little punishment or discipline is given up till the age of 5. The child, you're just giving love and just pure affection. Okay? If some chastisement requires as little as possible, mostly just affection. Then from the age of 5 to 15, full strictness, solid rules, how to behave properly. Full discipline, training. And then from 15 onwards, then friendship, almost like equals. How does this work? Why does this work? See, from when you've given a foundation of pure affection up to the age of 5, the child will see you as the source of everything. The child will not have any resentment. Then from 5 to 15, when you're giving discipline, they will not be confused. They will know that is coming from a place of love. Because the first 5 years is the foundation of your relationship. So everything we tell them, they know it's good for them, even though they may be sometimes resenting it, but they know deep in their heart it's coming from love because they've seen nothing but love the first 5 years. That's how this model works. And then after 15, 16, they're pretty much grown up. Most of intelligence is developed. And that point, it's no point disciplining them. It kind of backfires after that. So at that point, you become friends, and they appreciate the relationship even more. And so a relationship with our children gets deeper, stronger, and they grow up to be very strong, healthy, productive members of society, and hopefully devotees. So it's of course, when I say we leave it to Krishna, we try our hardest for raising them to be Krishna conscious. But to those of us who are parents, we know that children very rarely listen to what we say. Right? It's true. Very hardly they listen to what we say, but they watch carefully what we do. So if we are living lives of integrity, steeped in Krishna consciousness, with Krishna in the center, bhakti at every step, chanting Hare Krishna every day, trying to develop our natural love for Krishna, that the child will see. You don't have to preach much to them. They'll just see it and they'll also be happy in that same wave. So this is the parenting model given in our scriptures. But ultimately, it depends. Everybody has their own free will. They may choose or may not choose to be more or less Krishna conscious, up to them. But we can try our very best. And also, in that sense, in trying to be a good role model for children, it also makes us more serious devotees. That's a fact. I've seen that happen. I feel that happen in my own life, that we want to be more serious for our children. It's a great opportunity to boost our Krishna consciousness. So up till now, I've talked from the point of view of a parent, but we also may have, of course, fathers. On this Father's Day, we may want to, reconnect with our fathers or our father figures in life. We want to maintain a congenial attitude toward fathers. This story, very famous, is Hiranyakashipu, the father of the great devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Although Hiranyakashipu was tormenting so much, and even tried to kill his own son, Prahlad did not hold any resentment or grudge against him, even at the age of 5. And then when he came in the presence of the Supreme Lord, Prahlad requested the Lord, please, pardon my father. Bless my father. And the Lord reminded Prahlad that because of his devotion to his father, his devotion to Krishna, Prahlad's father will be liberated. Not just his father, but many generations will be liberated. So if Prahlad can maintain a congenial attitude toward his very offensive father, it behooves us all to keep at least a positive relationship attitude, at least an attitude toward our fathers, and pray to the Lord for their well-being. Because like Srila Prabhupada explained in that dedication, ultimately, who is our eternal father? Our eternal fathers are Guru and Krishna. See, we have many fathers. Every lifetime we have a different father. But our Guru, the same. Chakhudan dilo jai, janme janme prabhu shai. Means the same. He is my Lord, birth after birth. The same, right? Father. That's why Prabhupada calls him the eternal father. He's a Guru. He's taken responsibility. Same with Krishna, because Guru is representative of Krishna. So Krishna is ultimate, right? Jagat Guru. Vande Krishnam Jagat Gurum. So he's the ultimate Jagat Guru, Krishna. He's the ultimate father. Like we saw, he's a universal father. He's the father of all the species. Of course, today's holiday, it's just like a made-up holiday. It wasn't really existing like more than, I don't know how. When it came into being, it was invented by this card company called Hallmark to sell more cards. I just made a random day. We can sell more cards. It's nice. We can remind ourselves. But ultimately, every day is Mother's Day, every day is Father's Day for those who are devotees. Because we see Jagan Mata, Srimati Radharani, and Jagat Pita, Lord Shri Krishna, every day. Every day is their day. But sometimes it's good to focus on this topic. It's an excuse to kind of remind ourselves. And it's a nice way to also remember some of these values of parenting and so on. So all glories to Guru and Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki. Jai. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you all very much. If we have any comments or questions from anybody in the audience, I think we have a couple more minutes. Like 3 or 4 more minutes to go. Do you have any comments? Do we normally have comments and questions, or? You can raise your hand if you like. All right, I guess not. Well, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Please remember to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Remember the 4 points that will make your family life happy. What are these? Chant Hare Krishna with your family. Read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita with your family. Offer food stuff to the family, to the Lord, and then feed your family the prasadam. And then what's the other one? Worship the deity. Worship the deity. If you don't have deity, you can worship the picture of the Lord in your house and make your household blissful, joyful, and happy in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.